Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye. Om. Dear friends, welcome to the Geeta. We are we are about to start the 17th shloka of the third chapter, that is the Karma Yoga. And in the Karma Yoga, Krishna was giving an idea about what exactly is this karma with Ishwararpana Buddhi, and he equated it with yajna. This is something which is novel. Usually the meaning of traditional meaning of yajna is something different, and Krishna has now given a very liberal meaning for that word yajna, saying that yajna is any socially useful activity, any activity in which a person, that is the individual, is contributing to the samashti, that is the individual is actually, his ego is reduced and then he is contributing to the samashti. So such an activity is called yajna. And having told that, he finally concluded, evam pravartitam chakram. This is a cycle, he said. Chakram is a cycle. And what is that cycle? Cycle of interdependence. That is, no being in the universe is independent. So everything is dependent on the other. The human being as a vyashti or an individual is dependent on the aggregate. And only when he is working in tune with that aggregate, only in working in tune with the cosmic principles and cosmic principles of harmony, only then he can also live in peace, otherwise he cannot live in peace. So that is what he was saying. And finally he concluded like that, if he violates this particular universal order, he is a aghayu. Aghayu means a person who is leading a very sinful life. Indriya ramaha, a person who is reveling in his sensual pleasures. Indriya aramaha, indriyaihi aramanam or indriyeshu aramanam. That is somebody who is indulging in sensual pleasures only. And now he switches over to the context of a jnani. He was telling Arjuna, this is what is karma yoga. And on the other hand, jnani is not somebody who is not bound by all this. He is going to say that. And when we say jnani, we should not think that jnani is somebody who is a highly intelligent person who has very well read all the scriptures and he knows all the scriptures by heart, and probably he is having a white beard and he is sitting in the forest, etc., etc., or wearing all these rudraksha malas and whatnot. Jnani does not mean all that. Jnani only means a person who has understood the fact that his limited self is not different from that universal self. What he is thinking as the body-mind complex or as a limited self, it is something, or what we call Atma, is not different from that supreme reality which is called Paramatma. So this Atma and Paramatma are one and the same, and he is not egotistic by that. He does not say, yes, I have realized and what not. And he is a man, Jnani is a man whose ego has totally become zero. Jnani is not an egotistical man. When a person says, Aham Brahmasmi, he is not saying he alone is Brahma and all others are fools. He is saying that everything in the universe is Brahma, is a manifestation in that reality. So he is at that stage of awareness. So in that stage of awareness, his ego becomes totally dissolved, like a salt doll dissolves in water. His ego is totally dissolved in that ocean of consciousness. So jnani means he is that type. We have to always remember that a jnani means a person whose individual ego is totally obliterated. So that is what we have to remember. So now in that 17th shloka, he is now talking about that jnani. So yastvatmaratireva syad atmatruptasya manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Yaha tu. The shloka starts with yastu. Yastu means yaha tu. In Sanskrit, tu means when you are changing over to another subject, this tu, that is on the other hand. This tu, simple letter tu means on the other hand. On the other hand, yaha means the person who is atmaratireva syat, atmatruptasya, a person who is having enjoyment in his own atma, in his own self, that is in the knowledge of self. In the knowledge of self, not that he is sitting alone and drinking and doing some binge party or something like that. Not party, he is just drinking and then he is just watching some TV. He is not that. We are not referring to that type of Atmarati. So Atmarati means the knowledge of his own self. He is actually contented with that. He is with that awareness. Atmaratihi. In fact, the word rati, we know the common meaning of rati is that extreme sense of pleasure when a man and woman are together. when the man and women are together, that is what is called rati. Rati is that sthayi bhava. Alankara Shastra, they say that rati is what is called a sthayi bhava, that climactic feeling. That is what is climactic feeling is what is called rati. So, but here Atma Rati means a person who is happy with himself, happy with not that okay, I am happy and I am contented, my bank balance is good and whatnot. That not that type of happiness. A person who is aware of his aware of his self, aware of his Atman. So that person, he doesn't want anything else. He knows that all this thing is Brahman. So that knowledge of Brahman, Atmarati means knowledge of Brahman. Atmarati is the same as Brahmarati or Brahmacharyam. So that is what we can say. Atmarati reva syat, Atma truptasya manavah. Trupti means what? Trupti means contentment. Suppose I have some nice dinner. If I have a nice dinner, then I feel satisfied. I feel happily, very happy. That happiness by having something is what is called trupti. That is, I am deriving my happiness from some sort of external object. Any type of happiness which is derived from an external object is also happiness. There is no doubt about it. Suppose I eat some rasgulla, I eat some jalebi, I eat something else, or I see some beautiful thing. So all these things, they are all sensual pleasures or sensory perceptions, sensory pleasures also we can say. So all these things, they do give some happiness. So Atma Truptasya, but this gentleman is not somebody who is not expecting anything from outside. He is contented, he is happy, he is satisfied with his knowledge, with his awareness. He is satisfied because he doesn't want anything else. And Atmani evacha santushtaha, and also he is so totally contented. So there are three words which are used. Number one is Atma Rati, a person who is reveling in himself, who is in that condition. And he is also Trupta. Trupta means contented, he is satisfied. And this last word Santushti, Sam plus Tushti. Sam is it is a preposition. Sam plus Tushti, Samyak. It says Samyak means very well. Santushtaha, very well contented. That is satiated, completely satiated. We have a word, we use the word satiated. So that's feeling of satiation is called Santushti. So Santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. So here, usually in Vedanta, many texts of Vedanta, many books in Vedanta, they do analyze what is the human happiness. How can you measure human happiness? How can you measure human happiness? A person is supposed to be happy when he is having, say, $1 million or maybe a few crore of rupees. And when he is having a Benz car, and when he is having a beautiful wife, when he is also having some obedient children, and that beautiful wife should also be an obedient wife, otherwise there is a misery. And he should also have some obedient children. Then a person is happy. So that okay, from normal point of view. Then after some times he looks at somebody who is wealthier than him, and his wife is more beautiful, and she is more obedient to that gentleman. So naturally he feels some sense of inadequacy, some sense of wanting, some sense of longing, some sense of inferiority, whatever it is, some sense of inadequacy. So then he sees something more, he wants that. Benz car becomes outdated in a couple of years, and then he gets some other car. He has to get some other car. All equipment he has, they all become outdated. So then where is the contentment? So contentment, as we see, is something which is derived from external objects. But here, Atma Trupti is somebody who is not at all dependent with any external objects. So in Upanishads, there is a big analysis of what is called Ananda. It is called Ananda Mimamsa. Mimamsa means a very elaborate discussion. Mimamsa, in that particular word, it means an elaborate discussion on what is Ananda. So there it starts with Manushananda. Manushananda means a measure of human happiness. What is the maximum measure of human happiness? So it talks about a person who is having all the resources of the entire world at his command. So I want something from America, I want something from Australia, I want something from somewhere else. What all I want is at my command. I am absolutely something like a power without responsibility. We see some centers of power, all absolute power without any responsibility. So that sort of thing. I have all resources at my command, and then not only that, I have got all the ability to enjoy. Not that some old man, he is getting all things, he is not able to enjoy. Suppose there is some nice sweet, etc. This man is having sugar and he can't even eat it. Not like that. The Upanishad says, Ashishto, Dradishto, Balishtaha. Ashishta means a very, very enthusiastic person. Not that he is a very, very dull person. A dull person, even if you give something to him, what will he do? He will not do anything. So he is Ashishta, a person who is having that spirit to enjoy, that what we call the joy of life, joie de vivre, they say. So that joy of life, Ashishto Dradishtaha. Dradishta means a person who is in great physical health. Balishtaha is also having all the strength. And such a man, when he gets all the things in the world, and when he is enjoying all that, so such a person, that Ananda is called Manusha Ananda. That is a measure of human happiness. That is one measure of human happiness. And then above him, there are various levels. In our schemes, we talk about Manushyas, Gandharvas, and again some Pitru Devatas and some other Devatas, and so various degrees of celestial beings, various levels of celestial beings. And finally we come to Indra. So like that, each person's happiness, suppose the next level, for example, they say it is Gandharvananda. It is 100 times more than this first level. And the next level is, okay, you say some Pitrudevatam, Pitrudloka Ananda, okay, that is 100 times more than this. And above that is some other Devas Ananda. So, and above that 100 times more is that Devendra's Ananda. And finally, above that 100 times more is what is called Brahaspatera Ananda. So they say Brahaspatera Ananda means the Ananda of that Brahaspati. Brahaspati is the man who is the teacher of the gods, teacher of Devendra also, and he is supposed to be the wisest man, and because with all that wisdom he is very, very happy. So these are all various levels of Ananda, and that Upanishad says all this thing, this happiness is the same as the Shrotriyasya cha kama hatasya. It says at every level Gandharva Ananda. Okay, that Gandharvananda Shrotriyasya cha akama hatasya. Then a Shrotriyasya cha akama hatasya. It means a person who has risen above this feeling of inadequacy, who has risen above this feeling of pettiness or smallness. And a person who has realized, Shrotriya there, it means a person who is a realized person, a jnani, and whose ego is totally, it is only so long as I have an ego, that means I am this, I am this. Only when I am having an ego, I have a desire. When I have an ego, that means that I am defining myself as a limited being. When I don't have an ego means I am no longer limited, I am infinite. When I am infinite, where is the question of want? Only want or desire can be there only when you are defining yourself as a limited person. So that ego is no longer there. So when the ego is no longer there, he is akama hataha. Kama hata, kama means desire. Kama hataha means one who is afflicted by desire. And akama hata means one who is not afflicted by desire. So this jnani who is not at all afflicted by desire, a jnani who is having that awareness of purnatvam or fullness in him, when he is identifying himself with the Brahman himself, where is the question of any want in his case? So there is no question of any want. So Shrotriyasya cha akama hatasya. So that Upanishad, that Taittiriya Upanishad, in that Anandavalli, there is a chapter, the second portion of Taittiriya Upanishad is called Anandavalli. In that Anandavalli, there is a Mimamsa. Mimamsa means there is an elaborate discussion on what exactly is happiness. Shrotriyasya chakam hatasya. It goes on up to the right level. And this Jnani's Ananda is more than that Brahma, what is this Brahaspati's Ananda. So Brahaspati also is somebody who is identifying himself with that limited status called Brahaspati, Devaguru. Whereas the Jnani is somebody who has transcended that particular level. So here in Upanishads we talk about Ananda or bliss, let us say, which is not connected with the external objects. Vishayananda, they say there are two words in Vedanta. One is Brahmananda, not our film actor. Brahmananda means the bliss which a person has by realizing Brahma. The bliss which a person has by realizing Brahma, by realizing this, the oneness of Atma and Brahma. So that is what is called Brahmananda. Vishayananda is something, a person, I have a car, I have a wife, I have something else, I have a good bank balance, etc., etc. These are all the things which give me happiness. So this Vishayananda is always very, very limited. However much it may be, you may be Bill Gates or you may be somebody like Warren Buffett or somebody like that, whatever it is, there are limitations for that. But Brahmananda is something where a person he has gone beyond these desires, risen beyond these desires. So he has no, his bliss there is boundless. So that is what we see in this particular shloka. Yasu atmaratireva syad, atmartruptasya manava, rati, trupti and santushti. Degrees, various degrees of satiation. So he is somebody who is tasya karyam na vidyate. This last line, you see, tasya karyam na vidyate. Karyam means what? Karma means an action. Karyam means something to be done. Karyam. So this is a karyam. Karyam is something to be done. Like bhojyam. Bhojyam is something to be eaten. So like that. So tasya karyam na vidyate. For this jnani, there is no question of karyam. Karyam means something to do. There is no mandated job. It is not obligatory on a person to do job. So why is Krishna saying this? Because earlier he told, at the level of an ordinary man, so long as you are not a jnani, you are supposed to do your duty. But in the case of a jnani, karma is not obligatory. But he may do. That is also a different thing. Krishna is also going to say, a jnani, a realized person, he may do also. There are two levels, there are two types of jnanis. Of course, we are going to see that later, but I will tell you in advance. That is, jnani can be a sannyasi or a jnani can be a gruhastha. This is an important point which we have to note. Jnani does not mean he is a sannyasi. Always, all sannyasis are not jnanis and all jnanis are not sannyasis. So this is one point we have to note. All sannyasis may not be jnanis and all jnanis may not be sannyasis. So this is one formula we have to remember. So jnani can be a gruhastha also. Our system does not say that you have to be jolly well a sannyasi to be a jnani. It is not like that. A person who can do contemplation, for example, Nisargadatta Maharaj, he was not a sannyasi. He was actually running a small shop and he was a family man. Like that, we have got several examples of people. Nisargadatta Maharaj suddenly came to my mind because he is one gentleman who has come to great notice. In fact, world notice. So, notice of the world he is there. So, that is the reason why I mentioned his name. There may be many other people also. And of course, in our books, we are going to see various Rajarshis, various kings who were realized people and at the same time, they were also doing their job. So, if a jnani happens to be a sannyasi by virtue of the fact that he has renounced all actions, he will not do actions. And his actions, of course, are different. His actions means, he may be doing that parivrajanam. Parivrajanam means he will be roaming around. For 4 months, there is what is called chaturmasyam. For sannyasis also, there is a small regimen. What is that regimen? There are 4 months, that is the rainy season. Rainy season, Ashada, Shravana, Bhadrapada, Ashvija. These 4 months, they are called the rainy season. So that is Varshika Masa, means that is something to do with rain. So during that time, because in olden days there were no communication facilities and then they were not even able to cross everywhere. The whole universe was a jungle. When the whole universe was a jungle, naturally there were all everywhere there are floods everywhere, there is some water, the mobility is totally cut off. So in such a condition, they were confined to their own ashramas. When this Ashadha Masa started, they were confined to their own ashramas, and that is the reason why even Vishnu is supposed to take rest. There is what is called Shayana Ekadashi. Shayana Ekadashi, that is some Masa, that is Ashadha Masa, some Masa, I don't remember. And again there is what is called Utthana Ekadashi. Utthana means getting up. So Vishnu also sleeps for 4 months. Sleeps means it is not like our sleep. That is called Yoga Nidra. Anyway, there are some philosophical meanings for that. I will not go into that. So this during that time, what are the sannyasis supposed to do? Sannyasis are supposed to recapitulate what all they have learned. That is, it is a sort of refresher course for them. So they have to sit in some place. They should not move out from that place. They have to keep teaching students. They have to study Swadhyaya and Pravachana. They are supposed to do. That is the regimen. And at the end of this rainy season, again they will go on. For the next 8 months, they will be doing some dharma prachara. They will take bhiksha in a house. And whenever they take bhiksha, the owner, he will ask something, oh Swami, today tell something about Geeta. So he will tell something. So he will be doing dharma prachara. So that is the job of a sannyasi. So we will continue tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.